Раз, 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 раз. Ну, поехали. Так. Куда идти-то? А, вон куда? Так.
Next on the agenda.
Ага, вижу.
Once again, please leave them to me. Hey! Are you sure you're alright? You're scaring us! Fear not. Fighting is what I do best.
Чё ты кряхтишь-то? Опять за тебя играть? Ну ёлы-палы. Ты чё? Блин, я так сдохну? Чё за хардкор-то?
My apologies. Don't worry about it. Just take a breather and get your strength back. We'll deal with the monsters.
Мы справимся.
Look, that's the same light again.
Where am I? Who are you? Almighty Shogun, you're here too. Are you injured, Your Excellency?
I'm quite all right. Just feeling a little stiff.
We, the Shogunate Samurai, will defend the Shogun until the very end. Come on, men. They're coming back for more.
Don't! It's too dangerous.
Danger is our duty, ma'am. If we were the kinds to shy away from danger, we never would have taken up arms to begin with.
No need to worry, Almighty Shogun. When the situation looks bleak, we will draw on the power granted to us by the gods.
Is that a vision?
It certainly is. I know the gods are omnipotent, and their willingness to grant their power to humans means they have high expectations for it. If the Almighty Shogun is in trouble, now of all times is the...
So that's how samurai of that era understood visions, huh?
Nobody knew where your excellency had gone, and we were starting to despair. But now we've found you. You're right here with us. Just the sight of you appearing before us once more has reignited the hope in our hearts. This hope is the light that will guide us out from the darkness.
Everyone, on me!
We'll help too!
Huh? Affirmative, but watch your backs.
Protect the Almighty Shogun!
Ай-яй. Ах, я уж поснайперю.
Teamwork is strength, born of ice and frost.
It seems like their attacks are finally over.
I've never fought so fiercely before.
Thank you all. Are you okay? Maybe you should keep resting. I'm fine. I feel much better already.
You fought phenomenally. It was truly awe-inspiring. The monsters will definitely come back. And when they do, it'll be more than a few Rift Hounds this time. Quickly, escort Her Excellency back to Inazuma City, and regroup with the General's forces as soon as possible.
When everyone sees the Almighty Shogun safely returning, their spirits will be lifted.
Well, what are you guys gonna do?
We will stay here and guard against the monsters' advance. We cannot afford to let them get any further. We are brothers in arms. As long as we stick together, we can face any number of monsters that come our way.
Just leave it to us. Fighting is what we do best. But the Almighty Shogun is the only one of us with the power to change the present state of affairs. Only Her Excellency can turn back the tide of despair and lead us onward into the future. No matter what kind of threat faces Inazuma, we will always place our faith in the Almighty Shogun.
Thank you all very much. I promise you that I will create a bright future for Inazuma. I should not have left it this late to make this promise. But from this moment forth, know that I shall be true to my word.
Don't worry, Your Excellency. We will never doubt your word as long as we live. With you leading us, we will claim back everything that Inazuma has lost.
Glory to the Shogun!
Glory to the Shogun!
They're gone.
It was both. The people's sacrifice has always caused me immense pain. But in dwelling on the tragedy, I overlooked their splendor. The grief blinded me to how brightly they shone in their final moments. The result being that in the centuries since their sacrifice, I have dishonored their will. You could take the view that whatever I say to them is meaningless, because they are but disembodied memories held in the ley lines. But even so, they are due a resolution. I owe it to them and to all the people who have placed their faith in me to date.
Well, Paimon thinks that even if it's a few hundred years later, you're doing right by them now. And
Thank you for your comforting words. But this is my basic duty as Inazuma's Archon. And I have neglected it for far too long. I used to think just like that samurai. That I was first and foremost a warrior. And my only duty, but what Inazuma needs more than a warrior, is someone like Makoto. Even though I am utterly unlike Makoto, and can never become the person she was, I still need to do the things that she would have done. Yes, they are. They are strong and resilient, and have much to be proud of. As the Raiden Shogun they revere, I should not be the one to hold them back.
well said. Sounds to Paimon like you figured things out.
Change will come to Inazuma, and with it, new possibilities. This will take time, but eventually, the future will bring healing to the scars of the past. No matter how long it takes, I am committed to bringing this to fruition. This is my promise. Now that we've dealt with the Rift Hounds, this matter is halfway resolved. It does not appear that the threat will escalate for the time being. I will leave the Tenryo and Yashiro commissions to handle the follow-up work, such as investigating the origins of this incident and tending to the root system.
Alrighty then, let's move on. It's cold on the outside. Paimon bets her emotions must be all over the place right now, huh? She seems to have changed a lot since we last met her. Huh? What's wrong, eh? Come on, keep up. What's going on? Are you feeling unwell again?
My body... I can't move it. It looks like the situation... No need. She is calling me. Can you help me walk? I need to go to the cave below the Grand Narukami Shrine.
Why? What's in there?
A battleground. One where I shall sever ties with the past and take the first steps into the future.
Пещеру. А это где? Там где... Угу.
We're finally here. The entrance should be nearby.
Whoa! Where'd that Torii gate come from?
It's getting worse again. But it's fine. I'm happy. I'm about to put an end to it all. This is a place I once sealed off with my own hands. To Raiden Makoto's realm of consciousness. It looks like she will no longer allow me to do with this body.
Huh? What are you talking about? And who is she? Makoto?
Follow me.
Follow me! Засосало.
Paimon's dizzy. Where did we get sucked into this time? Whoa. This place...
Царствие в тюрьме.
It's another A!
We meet again, traveler. This body is an assistant to the one within, but it is also the guardian of the rules. Should the one within wish to stray from the rules, this body shall stand in her way.
Клонить. Правил.
Paimon knows that voice! Is that... the puppet?
You have wandered the realm in my body, and you appear to have grasped the true essence of eternity. You believe your present self has greater certainty than your former self. Thus, you believe your present self is correct, don't you? But have you really been enlightened with new ideas? Or have you been degraded by irreversible erosion? I'm here to show you my answer. We are both warriors, and the dialogue we must now have shall be conducted by the blade alone.
Wait! The atmosphere in here just took a turn for the worse! Are you alright now?
The discomfort I was experiencing earlier was caused by the Shogun rejecting my continued use of her body. As she indicates, once I started entertaining the idea of change, I became hostile in her eyes. But inside a realm of consciousness, I exist independently of her. She cannot affect me in this way. Though she is a puppet, the Shogun has her own consciousness too. When necessary, she appears here to confront me.
Paimon gets that everyone has their internal battles and stuff, but not like this! It's a bit extreme! Hey, showdown with the Shogun? Never thought we'd see that day!
The rules I set for the Shogun are... No. The Shogun herself is the manifestation of my past ideals. The very foundation stone of eternity. I would not try to change her if it wasn't necessary.
Isn't there any other way? Can't you talk it through or something? But they both just want the best for Inazuma!
My form is a symbol of supreme majesty, in which has been vested power over all the realm. It is the cohesive embodiment of all that constitutes the Raiden Shogun. It inherits Ei's pain, the pain of inevitable loss that comes as she moves forward. So too does it inherit her determination to reach eternity. Every action undertaken is for the sake of resisting erosion. Determination, courage, love, hatred, all of these will be degraded and distorted by the incessant flow of time. Only rules shall remain constant for eternity. Those were my thoughts when I created you. Now, they are towering obstacles that I have no choice but to overcome. You wish to make yourself my enemy? I am your past, the everlasting law, the guardian of eternity. And I am she who promised a dream to her subjects. Right and A. In the
И?
end, even the proud and mighty Oni maiden was cut down and disgraced. Though your blade has been cleansed of her blood and filth, never shall it shine as brightly as it once did.
О-хо-хо-хо-хо.
Strike dead! Illusion shattered!
Махач! Жестко.
Inazuma shines eternal! This ends now. The eye sweeps the lands. There is no escape. Torn to oblivion. Inferior. Shine down. Pathetic. Fleeting sakura blossoms that once filled the skies fell to the ground as pitch black rain. As long as the ley lines flow, the relentless erosion of time will never stop. Insolent. Weak, pathetic. Weak, pathetic. Your verdict is decided. Inazuma shines eternal. Illusions are but distractions. The divine lightning that envelops all of Inazuma will fade silently into the
С первого
clouds.
раза.
There shall never be another. Never. For the rest of time.
Опять? Ну ладно.
Torn to oblivion. Weak. Pathetic. Shine down. This ends now. Inazuma shines eternal. The eye sweeps the lands. There is no escape. Shattered. Insolent.
О.
Illusion shattered. Torn to oblivion. Lightning fall. I shall not fall here.
Ай-яй-яй. Жесть.
Shine down. Crumbles. It appears your martial prowess has not dulled. But how long can your will remain strong? In this realm of consciousness, her existence is tenacious indeed. She was built to resist erosion. Her will is stronger than any other living beings, including you and me.
Then, does that mean this is gonna be a never-ending battle?
Maybe. But I have to prove to her that my present will is no product of erosion. The future I shall forge will be a grand undertaking. One that will be resistant to erosion. If I don't do this, the Shogun's rules can never change, and Inazuma can never move forward. This is my duty. No matter how long this battle may last, months, years, centuries, and no matter how many times we must fight, 500 years ago, humanity proved their strength in battle. Here in the present, they rely on their ambition to challenge wayward practices, tear them out like the diseased wood of an old sakura tree, so that new, healthy branches might spring to life in their place. It is about time that I learned to trust them. I understand that. But if the dreams of which Makoto spoke are true eternity, a short moment for which the Shogun does not exist is nothing to fear. I fight for the everlasting future of Inazuma. However long the battle may last, it is but a drop in the ocean of eternity. I vow to the subjects of Inazuma that I shall one day return. This is my oath. During my absence, I place everything in Miko's hands.
Какой Мика.
This means that...
Pass on my words.
Looks like we got kicked out. Oh, what do we do? Are we really just gonna leave A and the Shogun to keep on duking it out in there forever? She was making sense, and maybe this is the only way to change the Shogun's rules, but still... Right? Also, A can be pretty stubborn at times, and has a history of rushing into difficult situations. What if she gets too obsessed with winning, and she forgets why she's there in the first place? It could happen, and then she might never leave again. Yeah, we should help her out, like we did last time. The quicker she gets through this, the better. Is there any way we can cut down how long she needs to spend in there? Or, you know, help her win the fight? Well, whatever. We can't let anything bad happen to A while she's in there. Oh, but we also can't get in there anymore. Okay, well, first things first. We gotta find a way back in. Oh, come on, brain juice. Don't feel time on now. Okay,
Навались.
maybe if we both ram into it at the same time really, really hard. Oh, you're right. Paimon nearly forgot about her. Who knows if she really understands these consciousness realm playing thingies more than we do, but there's no one else we can turn to. All right, up the mountain we go.
Talk to the Electro Archon whenever you are troubled.
Another bad one? No, let me try again. Another bad one?
Так.
No, let me try again.
Someone's not in the best of moods. Let me guess. You're all tangled up in another situation and need me to unravel it for you. I hope you realize how lucky you are. If it was anyone else, I don't think I'd have the patience to keep greeting them with a smile after the first few times.
But you're always smiling.
That was a figure of speech, do you understand? Nitpicking my turns of phrase. The sheer audacity.
Oh, yeah. Something really big's happened. It's A. She...
Oh, okay, I see. So, A's decided to palm Inazuma off on the humans, while she goes off on her own to fight a fierce impossibly stubborn. Jumps straight to the most extreme course of action imaginable, presumes her sheer will can see her through, despite a near impossible goal that requires nothing short of the very peak of her abilities. Yes, that sounds like A all right. You know as well as I do that she's always been like this. Why start fretting about it now? Rushed into it without thinking. Well put. Oh, she acts like such a child sometimes. So you seem to be under the impression that I am able to offer some sort of help? Who gave you that idea?
Is she playing dumb? She's doing this on purpose, for sure!
Aha, you're a learning little one. But really, the truth of the matter is that I don't know much more about Raiden Makoto's realm of consciousness than you do. All I know is that it's the foundation of the sacred Sakura, and from what I've heard, it's a little different from A's plane of euthymia.
Because Raiden Makoto is no longer alive?
Not just because of that. The nature of the space itself is different in some way. But I can only speculate. You're the ones who have actually been there, so you tell me. What was it like? Anyway, we needn't worry about the details too much. It'll just be a little difficult to explain things later on, that's all. First things first. Follow me to the entrance.
Follow me.
Next on the agenda.
Можно туда телепорт, пожалуйста? То я уже не помню, куда идти.
Now then, I always have my ways. It's just a question of how crafty I need to be. To the outsider, the realm of consciousness is a very abstract concept. Luckily, I'm A's familiar, so I can sense her rough whereabouts. In other words, even though I can't pinpoint the exact spatial location of this realm, I can still send you to where A is.
So, it's abstract, but has a location, but you don't know where it is, but you can still send us there.
Yes, no need to try and understand it. Let me put this simply. Right now, everything is turbulent and disordered. If you try to force your way in, you could be swept away by a giant wave that sets you down in an unknown corner of space-time. This is precisely why when entering the plane of euthymia, it's much safer if you place your consciousness in a physical object first.
What? Alright, well, I might stay here then. You two can go in.
Suit yourself. Worst case scenario, all we stand to lose is A. So what's the big deal?
That is up to here with both of you! Fine! Paimon's coming too.
Oh, well, if you're quite sure, then of course. Now, I shall send you on your way. Oh, nothing. It just seems extraordinarily chaotic, that's all. My suspicions have been confirmed. By the way, remember to focus constantly on your heartfelt wishes when you enter inside. Only a strong enough will can prevent you from being swallowed by the giant waves of abstract space. Only if you are strong enough can I deliver you to the right destination. Well then, the door's open. Hop on in. I'll stay outside and provide what stability I can. I'll be ready to respond if anything happens. I'm placing my god in your capable hands. For my sake and for Inazuma's, please. Bring her back.
Верни ее.
So, you better know what you're doing.
That's enough chatter. Get to work.
За работу. Пошли мочить всех.
Remember to focus constantly on your heartfelt wishes when you enter inside. Only if you are strong enough can I deliver you to the right destination.
Опять махач.
How can this be? You have returned. But how were you able to get back in? And how come you have not changed at all in all these years? This is a duel to remember. It is as if we have returned to the moment when the laws of eternity were first established. Your will today is as strong as it was back then. Over countless battles, not once have you lost, and never have you shown the slightest hesitation. Had I made all enemies of eternity stand against you, you still would not have wavered. For your firm commitment to enforcing the rules, you have my admiration too. You bring honor to the title of Guardian of Eternity. Now these two return once more to this space. An inevitability of fate, perhaps. Then, let this be our final duel. The conclusion to that which began 500 years ago. Final duel? So you're finally willing to stand back, traveler. I'm going to be the start of something new. The time our duels took to fight was long enough to witness the rise and fall of nations. The energy they consumed, great enough to vaporize the oceans and turn day into night. And the will they demanded, sufficient to penetrate minds and crush dreams. Yet, you have endured. I will endure forever.
Дайте почитать. Воу. Полегче. Как мне тут... Ага, ясно. Блин, а как тут уворачиваться-то, Подожди. Чё это такое? Воу. Прыгать, что ли? Воу. Воу. Как от этого уворачиваться-то, блядь? Что за херня? Ну, пипец. О, меня рисуют? Ну, хорошо. Это еще что такое? Что-то жестко, мне кажется, будет.
You have won. I believed you were incapable of transcending the past. But it seems my belief was baseless, and I underestimated your spirit. But a will that cannot be eroded has no way to embrace the future. You need not worry about the future. And you aren't alone. I know your power more than anyone else. Had I relied upon my strength alone, I would have lost this duel for sure. Yet, my reason for fighting redefined my martial prowess and redrew my limits. I now carry the gaze of the myriad of expectant eyes that look to the light in the heavens. And whenever I think of this, I feel something stirring within Muso Ishin. The blade that I inherited from Makoto seems to be trying to guide me. I noticed it also. Just now in the heat of battle, it seemed to unleash a new and unfamiliar power. This power is beyond the limits of my understanding. This blade belonged to Makoto. Perhaps it can only respond to me with its full power when I truly understand and believe. When I clasped Muso Ishin in my hands, I had the feeling that she was by my side once again. It was at once a familiar feeling and a strange one. You have my approval. Your present will is not the product of erosion. I shall no longer stop you from attempting to modify the rules. From this day forth, this body will remain your assistant. I won't design any more rules that can never be changed. You used to represent my past, but from today onward, you are me. Makoto never saw me as a fearless weapon. Likewise, I should not regard you as a mere tool. You truly have changed. I suppose this is what humans call growth. I understand. I shall become your shadow, just as you were once Makoto's shadow.
Ті пафосні повороти.
The duties I perform will not change. But as a warrior, I look forward to the chance to fight like this again in the future. Do you say this because you have not yet reconciled yourself with your defeat? It was simply a new experience for me. One that is worth reliving.
Have you finished fighting then? Like, for real this time?
Hello, A. And greetings, those who have come to bear witness. I am Raiden Makoto, the previous Electro Archon, who failed in my duties and left you all to pick up the pieces.
Makoto?
I'm so happy. You've come so far. I always knew you would make it here in the end. I left a faint fragment of my will in Muso Ishin, so that in the moment that you unleashed its full power, I too would be released. A convoluted way to reach you, but... well, you held such deeply entrenched views at the time that you wouldn't have listened to a word I said. There was no time to wait for you to have a change of heart. Please forgive me. All I could do was find some way to wait until you came to me.
But... you never mentioned this to me.
Everything happened so suddenly. I'm sorry. I've always felt terrible for having to entrust Inazuma to you all of a sudden. I should have been the one to impart these ideas to you, a little at a time, to dissuade you from your pursuit of stillness.
Did you know what was about to happen in Kanya?
I had some sense of it. That place was not somewhere that any Archon could afford to ignore. In my present form, I can no longer perceive time. I don't know how long we have been separated before this reunion,
and I don't know what Inazuma has experienced in the meantime, but I know that this must have been an extremely arduous journey for you. And I'm sure you must have wanted to shed tears many times along the way. Don't look down on me. See? You admit it. It was with this possibility in mind that I left a parting gift for you. Something to soothe Inazuma's pain. Here, take it, before my last shred of consciousness fades away. But it is you who must take the most important step.
The light turned into a seed?
The miracle tree that blesses the people, in this moment new to the world and yet to be known. When to plant it, where it shall bloom. She who brings it into being must let her heart and dreams decide. Grant it life, eh? Is it really? Eternity extends time into infinity. Dreams illuminate each moment within. When both shine in unison, the sacred Sakura blooms from the darkness, finally free from the clutches of the heavenly principles. Now the nightmare has dissipated, and reality is made whole. The vision we both yearn for is still further ahead. My only regret is that I cannot witness Inazuma's future, nor can I walk this journey with you. Do you know, A? I am so happy right now. Wish has now come true. Your polearm once protected me from countless calamities. For this, I've always felt indebted to you. Though I could never repay you in full, this sacred Sakura will buy you some time until you are ready to awaken and embrace the new. What do you think? Did it do the trick? This time, it really is goodbye, eh? Goodbye, Makoto.
Прощай, Макото.
So the A of the present planted the sacred Sakura in the realm of consciousness, and it took root in the Inazuma of the past. No matter what you make of it, it's quite incredible.
All of this is thanks to Makoto's power. Her understanding of eternity is much more profound than mine. Eternity is a concept intimately connected with time. When you begin to touch on eternity, the concept of time becomes murky.
A place where time is meaningless and cannot be understood with ordinary logic. Ah, so that was the turbulence I was sensing. Perhaps that is the reason why you were able to return precisely to this point in time without any problems. And yet, that sense of disorderliness has now completely disappeared.
I don't fully understand yet. But my intuition tells me that the reason for everything...
Well, I'm not convinced that it was Makoto's power alone.
I know what you mean. Perhaps Makoto got a higher power involved in all of this.
Астарот.
But whatever the explanation, her solution is what saved us all. Without the sacred Sakura, Inazuma would likely have been completely swallowed up centuries ago. But
I know you've always perceived there was something special about the sacred Sakura. But to me, it has always been there. You've tried in the past to prove to me that there's a connection between the sacred Sakura and Makoto's consciousness. But unfortunately, you never did persuade me, did you?
No. But I understand why now. It was because the sacred sakura hadn't even been planted then.
Don't you think that tree looked a lot different than how it does now?
The sacred sakura is within my purview at the shrine, so obviously I get to prune it exactly how I like it.
Ugh. Now we see who's pulling the strings.
I'm joking. That tree has been through a lot since it first sprouted. We have the loving care of Kitsune over the ages to thank for how it appears today. And obviously I played my part too. It's fair to say that very little time passed between the moment you came out of that realm and the moment you re-entered it. But in that same time, centuries of battling took place on the inside, did it not? Traveler, if I'm guessing correctly, you were repeating your wishes to yourself in your mind, weren't you? At that time, I could sense A's whereabouts, but I also sensed anomalies in the flow of time within that space. Suffice to say, time added a whole new dimension to our search. Simply establishing a location was not sufficient. Fortunately, your will was strong enough that the turbulence carried you to the moment in time most likely to be the intersection of all that you were wishing for. The flow of turbulence may well have been influenced by Makoto, but it took everyone's efforts combined to ultimately help A. So this time, it looks like thanks are due to you.
Does that mean it wasn't by chance that we ended up at the final duel? We were always meant to be there to witness what was going to happen?
I thought that the flow of time was the same on the inside and the outside. So it was a great shock to me when the traveler reappeared. My first thought was, has a great disaster befallen Inazuma? But it turned out you had come to rescue me. You came for my sake, to help me reach the best possible outcome. You too have my thanks. You have done much for me, and I will never forget it.
A, how are you feeling now?
My body has fully recovered, and the Shogun's will no longer fights against me.
Always thrilled to hear you're in good health. But I was really asking about your emotions. After all, you saw Makoto in there, didn't you?
I only heard her voice. I wouldn't say I saw her. I'll be fine. It brought a few things back, of course, but I've made my decision to move forward. I have to say, this has reminded me once again just how brilliant Makoto was. She predicted all the ways in which Inazuma's future could unfold, all the way back then. She even factored my immaturity into her plan. It's all thanks to her that Inazuma lived to see this day. I just planted a seed.
Yeah, it was thanks to everything you did that you got to see her again. That's amazing!
Thank you.
Today, at long last, you and Inazuma finally emerge from the shadows cast by the events of centuries past. Makoto and you are Inazuma's past and future, and both are indispensable.
It's rare to hear such comforting words from you. I graciously accept them.
Oh, come on. You only think it's rare because you never used to listen to a word I say.
Makoto said the exact same thing!
Great minds think alike, hmm? I wonder, does that qualify me to, maybe, take the position of shogun for a couple of days? Actually, no. Forget that. Far more trouble than it's worth.
We will have to end the frivolities there. There is much work to be done. The Shogun and I will closely review the Inazuma of today to find out where things currently stand. Then, we will give careful consideration to the future. After that, I will abolish the Sakoku decree.
Really? Huge news!
I am no longer pursuing an eternity defined by stasis. In which case, there is no further need to keep the nation under lock and key. I don't doubt that many challenges lie ahead for Inazuma. I'm looking forward to it. Many challenges still lie ahead for Inazuma, but I am prepared for them. Abolishing the Sakoku decree has a myriad of implications. It would be folly to say that it will be all positive, and there will be no negative repercussions. For example, I can foresee the outside world posing a threat to Inazuma's businesses. These are the issues that I must work to solve.
Hey, you're thinking about this all so conscientiously. I've only got as far as wondering whether I'll be able to sell entrance tickets to the Grand Narukami Shrine in the future.
Honestly, Miko, many challenges still lie ahead for Inazuma, but I am prepared for them. Makoto's gaze was always fixed on the people of Inazuma. I always assumed it was because that was her duty, but now I see that hers was a gaze full of delight and hope. It was not just a duty, but a joy too. She loved humanity very dearly.
If the people of the past deserve the god's attention, then so do the people of the future.
Indeed. No longer will I ignore their passions and dreams. Many challenges still lie ahead for Inazuma, but I am prepared for them. To put it bluntly, it was constant torture. Faced with an endless battle, I had to remain focused at all times. Had my concentration lapsed for but a moment, the Shogun's blade would have taken my life. Safe to say, were it not for my previous experiences in combat, my skills would not have been up to the challenge. I would most certainly have been defeated. And through it all, you also had your part to play. Many challenges still lie ahead for Inazuma, but I am prepared for them. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. I will be sure to remind the Tenryo and Yashiro commissions of their... It's not only the monsters that I am worried about. I'm concerned about what else might...
That's a tough one, all right. There's plenty more besides memories held in the ley lines.
Since you clearly understand, perhaps you could think about making an effort too. Many challenges still lie ahead for Inazuma, but I am prepared for them.
Ahem. Yai Miko said nothing of the sort. And the traveler has some nerve making up spurious claims about her. Some words are not to be passed on. Trust me, you don't want to know the cost of betraying me. Just think of the things I said to you as our little secret.
What are you talking about?
Nothing. Ooh, I suddenly want some fried tofu.
Many challenges still lie ahead for Inazuma, but I am prepared for them.
Ясно. Так же говорим.
Many challenges still lie ahead for Inazuma, but I...
Так, давай-ка соберем тут маленечко. еще? Бесчисленные мечты, которые так и не были воплощены в жизнь, когда парили здесь, словно лепестки на ветру. Это начало вечности, и это ее конец. Чё падает? Смысл эонов.
I hear the voice of fate, speaking my... Ad Astra...
Так.
This is a correspondence from Stingray 3. Your Excellency, the situation looks extremely serious.
Thank you, Ueno. Inform Swordfish 1 to stand by. I'll see to the wounded shortly.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Kokumi! How have you been? Captain of Swordfish 2. Glad to have you back on Watatsumi Island. I would have liked to have given you a grand reception, but as you can see... What's going on? Not long ago, I hosted the Watatsumi Goryo Matsuri. It's the most important ceremony on Watatsumi Island. What? How did you know we were the ones helping out Tsuyuko this whole time? Tsuyuko is one of the more conscientious shrine maidens of Sangonomiya. I knew that handing off the planning of the ceremony to her would play to her strengths. Based on her description of the person who took the commission, it was quite obviously you.
This is all starting to sound pretty suspicious.
Anyway, I'm sure Tsuyuko will have told you that the Watatsumi Goryo ceremony is a ceremony to reverse the holy soil phenomenon on Watatsumi Island. It's a bleaching process that slowly turns the earth to holy soil, leaving the land infertile and devastating agricultural production. Granted, crops aren't our staple food on Watatsumi Island, but I can't allow external forces to drastically alter the people's diet, and we certainly shouldn't be overly reliant on imports.
Hyman doesn't quite follow.
Imagine all you had to eat from now on was radishes. No more fish or meat. Clearer now?
That would be terrible.
The issue began with the Watatsumi Goryo Matsuri. I did not miss a single step during the ritual, and there's no question that the blood branch coral you retrieved was infused with the Omikami's power. But it didn't reverse the holy soil phenomenon as expected. Instead, it just paused. This has never happened before in history. This is ultimately a matter of Watatsumi Island's survival, so I sent as many people as I could spare to Enkanomiya to investigate the situation. The news from Stingray 3 was that all of Enkanomiya is engulfed in a darkness that cannot be dispelled. Additionally, there have also been reports of monsters, the likes of which no one has ever seen before.
Strange monsters? And an all-engulfing darkness?
That's all that Stingray 3 has reported. Their investigation otherwise has yielded no useful information. I have sent several rescue teams already, but so far, the situation does not look promising. It brings me no pleasure to have to ask, but on behalf of all of Watatsumi Island, I beseech you, please, lend us your assistance one more time. Thank you. Now, please, come with me to meet Tsuyuko.
Your Excellency, Traveler. I did wonder. Hope you're both having a wonderful date so far.
Cut the comedy, Tsuyuko, or I may have to have you and Naki switch posts next year. In which case, you'll be in charge of Spectre Eco Management on Watatsumi Island.
No need, I'll stop. So, since the two of you are here together, I assume it's about Enkanomiya?
How can we fill this in on what's been going on?
Kokomi. Right. Well, as I'm sure Her Excellency has told you, an ominous darkness has completely engulfed Enkanomiya. At the same time, strange humanoid monsters have appeared when the place should be completely deserted.
Humanoid monsters?
Armor that can move on its own. I know it sounds ridiculous, but we're not talking about one spooked soldier hallucinating in the darkness. All the wounded who return to Sangonomiya have, on top of this, even ordinary enemies seem to grow much stronger in the darkness. That's why Stingray 3 has sustained so many casualties. There's one other thing that the returning soldiers have mentioned. They say a shrine maiden who calls herself Sumi has been helping to treat the wounded.
Sumi? I don't recall there being any record of a shrine maiden by that name in Sangonomiya.
That's the thing. There isn't one. But she held something called a Sento ceremony, which managed to keep a small area in the very center of Enkanomiya brightly lit. Thanks to her, the wounded soldiers have a safe zone where they can recuperate.
Sento. I've seen this term in the Deep Sea Healing Arts Compendium. But it's a ceremony that only works in Enkanomiya, so it was never brought to Watatsumi Island. I'd love to meet this Tsumi, but right now, helping the wounded has to be my top priority.
Your Excellency, even if you had no duties at all right now, there's still no way we'd let you go down there. Enkanomiya is exceedingly dangerous right now. Only preeminent warriors like the Traveler and Paimon should venture there.
Yep, absolutely, 100%. This is a job only we can handle.
Yeah. We've worked together plenty of times in the past, after all.
Do you have any other information about Tsumi?
It was mentioned that she wears a strange mask that covers the upper half of her face.
How interesting. What is she trying to hide?
Your Excellency, in my humblest of opinions, Tsumi has shown nothing but goodwill so far. Since the situation is so critical, we don't have the resources to make other defense arrangements and cast suspicion on our allies.
I see what you mean. I have instructed Swordfish 1 to proceed to Enkanomiya and continue evacuating the wounded. Traveler, you can go with them. Swordfish 1 will escort you to the camp at the center of Enkanomiya. Also, please, take this with you.
What's this? Looks like a missing piece of something.
It's just a little trinket. When you are faced with a difficult choice, it might be able to help you.
Your Excellency. But isn't that...
Watatsumi Island doesn't need it anymore. Besides, both of the other two pieces are in Enkanomiya. If we're lucky enough, this could be our chance to reunite them.
Understood, Your Excellency. Okay. Emergency measures to hold the Three Realms Gateway offering now underway.
I apologize for the trouble. Now please excuse me. I need to tend to the wounded. Please, see Ueno once you're ready.
Spectre Eco-Management. I hear Liyue has a program to get rid of rats, cockroaches, flies, and barnacles. Spectre Eco-Management must be the same kind of thing.
Are you ready to venture into the dark shroud of Enkanomiya? All right, follow me. Here's hoping I have the chance. Next year, I'm going to apply for Swordfish 1 to be redeployed into Spectre Management. Because if it's that, or spend more time in Enkanomiya, those armor monsters closing in on you. It's the stuff nightmares are made of.
Totally understand.
Anyway, we should be safe for now. There shouldn't be any more danger from here on out.
Hey, what's up?
It's Yabe, the odd guy from Stingray 3.
compared to all the other soldiers.
Do I? Well, I've pretty much always loved horror stories and ghost stories and stuff, ever since I was a kid. This super fun, 10 out of 10, would come again.
Totally do not understand.
Well, I mean, it's pretty sweet to have the chance to come to Enkanomiya. I actually kind of wanted to look into the Bunkoku puzzle while I'm here. It's the first of the 4 great puzzles of Enkanomiya.
Yeah, please don't do that. We're the ones that'll have to come rescue you.
Alright, well, never mind that. There's a makeshift camp at the top of those steps over there. Yeah, you should head up and catch some rest if you haven't been there yet.
Hey, look! A shrine maiden taking care of the wounded! That must be Sumi, right? Let's go ask her about what's been going on.
You are different from all the others. Are you human?
Well, she is, obviously. Just not a native of Watatsumi Island, that's all.
And you? A human hatchling? Oh, really? Because I thought that humans lose the ability to fly when they reach adulthood. Just like the baptismal bishops lose the ability to see in color when they reach maturity.
Sumi, you seem to know a lot about bishops.
Wait, how do you know my name?
Oh, the wounded soldiers mentioned you.
Oh,
Greetings. My name is Ueno, acting captain of Swordfish 1. We're here to evacuate the wounded and support the traveler's investigation. Swordfish 1 needs to rest and reorganize before commencing the evacuation. I'll see you later.
so you're here to help resolve this, Very well. It's taking all the energy I have to keep this light shining. I don't have the strength to try and combat the spreading darkness, too.
Do you understand what's going on?
The Void Realm is invading. The people of Byakuyakoku believe that there are 3 realms. The Bishop Realm, the Human Realm, and the Void Realm. The darkness spreading in Enkonomiya comes from the Void Abyss. Neither bishops nor humans can endure it.
But don't baptismal bishops like the Turk?
No. They hate the light. But only because down here in the depths, the presence of light signifies human activity. In fact, the Bishop Realm is the realm of pure primordial elemental beings. It's actually referred to as the Light Realm in most books. The 7 sovereigns of the Light Realm are the 7 foremost elemental dragons at the pinnacle of the raw and primitive elemental forces.
So that's why Tsuyuko called this the 3 Realms Gateway Offering.
3 Realms Gateway Offering. Not far off the mark, actually. But technically, I think it should be called the Triangle Gateway Offering. Because the source of the darkness from the void is the 3 towers at the corners of Enkonomiya's triangular borders.
Oh, the 3 towers! The ones where we did those trials!
You've been there before?
It's a long story.
Oh.
By the way, Sumi, what's up with the weird mask?
To hide my face. It has to do with some things that happened as I was growing up. Does that make me untrustworthy in your eyes?
No, not at all! You've been helping the wounded all this time. Everyone must be super grateful to you. It's just that...
Can't say I really understand what you're talking about. Anyway, if you want to rid this darkness from Enkonomiya, you can come to me for guidance. Of course, if you can trust me. I'm going inside to tend to the wounded and check in with the new arrivals. Please excuse me.
we gonna do? Paimon really wants to trust Sumi. Oh, how about we go ask the wounded?
Greetings.
Hello, we'd like to ask you about the masked shrine maiden, Sumi.
Because of her strange mask? Well, you've come to the right person.
Cool.
I was one of the first people that she rescued. Straight away, I thought there was something very weird going on. Who is this shrine maiden who knows the lost ceremonies of Enkanomiya? And why is she covering her face with a mask? So I started pestering her about it. I wasn't going to let up until I got an answer.
And?
There weren't so many people around at the time, so eventually she let me look behind the mask. It was actually pretty normal for the most part. There's just one thing she's trying to hide. Her eyes have snake-like pupils, thin vertical lines.
Wow. Weren't you scared?
I probably would have been if every Watatsumi Islander wasn't so familiar with our legends. Or I should say, the first familiars of the Watatsumi Omikami were the vassals of Watatsumi. Legend has it that they are a half-human, half-snake kind who helped our ancestors fight back the Baptismal Bishops. They were said to have disappeared long ago. But then Sumi showed up, and as soon as I saw her snake eyes, I instinctively trusted her.
Huh.
I'm no expert by any means, but I think Tsumi can be trusted. As long as Sumi stays around, we
Hello, what can I help you with?
Hi there. We wanted to ask you what you know about the masked shrine maiden, Sumi.
I see. What are you looking to know exactly? I've tried asking if she's seeing anyone, or whether she's looking right now.
That's not what we meant at all. We were more wondering, do you think there's anything suspicious about her?
Suspicious, huh? Suspicion, the unknowable, the unpredictable, unexplored territory. Mysterious? Enigmatic? Enchanting, bewitching, compelling, addicting. Yeah, I am being serious. Okay, look. If I had to pick one thing about her that's suspicious, I'd say, two things. Number one, her mask. It's pretty scary. I don't know why she chose it. Number two, some kind of pendant fell out of her sleeve when she was bandaging me up. It looked like it was a broken off piece of something. So maybe when you put them together, it makes a whole. Huh. Maybe the other half is held by Sumi's lifelong sweetheart.
Sounds like you hit the nail on the head, so, maybe ease off a little, bro?
I can feel a beard coming on. Oh, do you guys think shaving it with a weapon would work?
Oh.
It looks like they're resting. Let's not disturb them. I don't think we've got enough answers now. Let's find somewhere to recap what we know so far. Sumi's just inside the room. It'd be a bit awkward if she hears us talking about her behind her back. So here's what we learned from the soldiers. Sumi's mask hides her snake eyes, which the people of Watatsumi Island believe to be a distinguishing feature of Orabaxi's mask. Based on her actions, it seems like all she wants to do is protect the people of Watatsumi Island. And from what she said, she's doing everything she can to combat the darkness spreading in Enkanomiya. So she seems pretty trustworthy. Then let's go talk to her about working together.
how's it going? Have you made a decision?
Yep, let's team up to tackle the darkness.
Okay, then take this. It's called the Bokuso box. I found it in the Dainichi Mikoshi when I was looking for a solution. Actually, the Dainichi Mikoshi was where I found the method and tools for the Sento ceremony. Lucky I can read human writing.
Why wouldn't you be able to? Or did you mean it's lucky that you can read the ancient Enkanamian script?
Oh, nothing. I just meant the script in the Deep Sea Healing Arts Compendium. I don't actually know if it's ancient or modern. Never mind all that. Let's get back to business. The Bokuso box collects light. It can dispel the darkness from the void within a small radius. So, for example, with the power of the Bokuso box, you can turn monsters affected by the darkness back into their original forms. As it happens, there are some monsters causing trouble around the camp. Go and try out the Bokuso box on them. I will join you shortly. Please, go and fend off the monsters. Don't forget to use the power of the box. I'm going to observe the movement of the darkness. I'll catch up with you shortly.
Так. В наводненной тенями Энкономии, врагов под защитой. И тьмы обычно не победить. Ясно. Ясно. А так? Ну, все убивается.
You're a good fighter.
You bet! We were the ones who went and got the Blood Branch Coral that one time after all.
You... So, you...
What's wrong?
Nothing.
Чё злишься?
If what you say is true, then I'm sure you'll be able to conquer the 3 border towers quite easily. Also, there are a few things I need to explain to you. According to what I have read, the fundamental purpose of the Watatsumi Goryo Matsuri is to use the serpent god's life force to awaken its second familiars, the Senga Coralia. They are creatures that break down raw, primitive elemental energy into the milder elemental energy of the human realm. The giant coral is a symbol that the Senga Coralia have been awakened by the serpent's blood. The mass awakening of the Senga Coralia causes a transformation in the ecological environment of Enkonomiya.
Makes sense. Even if you took away the darkness and the monsters, Enkonomiya would still look pretty different now with all the new plants and aura around.
Things are even more complicated than usual this time. The darkness from the Void Realm seems to be suppressing things in the Light Realm and the Human Realm, causing them to come to a standstill. You may need to use the power of the Bokuso box to dispel the darkness and allow the ecological transformation to continue. Please, try to solve the problem using the Bokuso box. I'll wait for an update for you under the statue over there.
Бакс. Выполните испытание, используя шкатулку Бакусо. Или Бакс. Шкатулка Бакс. Бакусо. Так, при исследовании можно потратить некоторое количество энергии, чтобы использовать шкатулку Бакусо и развеять ему окружающие области испытаний. Сундуки ресурсы. По мере усиления шкатулка Бакусо сможет рассеивать более могущественную тьму. Ну, понятно. Ой. Активировать нельзя.
Treasure is concerned.
It seems that you have mastered the Bokuso box. Now, let me tell you about the ultimate purpose of this operation. As I said, we need to proceed to the 3 towers on Enkonomiya's borders. They're towers of the void, restored to their original form by a certain Abyss adherent.
Abyss adherent? Wait, do you mean...
He's a purveyor of incessant nonsense. Somehow he found out about the 3 realms and the 3 corners, and brought those things in using abyssal technology. Disseminating abyssal energy using the towers. This caused great suffering for both the Sangakaralia and the Bathismal bishops. I don't know why he's doing this. For us, the abyss is highly toxic. For them, intoxicating is more. Maybe he just likes to toy with people and stab them in the back.
Paimon knows exactly who you're talking about.
You know him? And it seems we have a common enemy.
Oh, you bet we do!
To get rid of the darkness, you need to climb to the very top of the Towers of the Void and activate the Light Realm Chisel, which will let in the energy of the Light Realm. In Enkonomiya, the ley lines of the Human Realm, the elemental currents of the Light Realm, and the dark currents of the Void Realm are all exceptionally strong. Also, I only performed the Sento ceremony going off the steps in the book, but I believe the key to the ceremony is the statue in front of us. You can offer crystals of Light Realm energy to it to increase the Bokuso box's power. Also, resting here can restore the box's energy. Please, take this hand-drawn map. I've marked out the locations of the 3 towers for you. You'll need to explore one step at a time, and I'd recommend you start with this tower. That's as much help as I can offer you. I'll be waiting here for the good news.
I'm all for work-life balance, but I think this is pushing it. venturing, as in business, you always have to seize the opportunity while it's there.
Так, все ясно.
ideal for work-life balance, but I think this is pushing it.
Понятно.
Don't blink! Stand clear! Know my sword! Let me weave you a verse.